Okay, we're back. We're back with one of our favorite peoples, Mr. Gunny.
Sir,
You've
how are
been
you?
busy. You've been busy, bro.
Lacking sleep. Lacking sleep. I'm lacking exercise. This is
You
the.
got all the you got all the gear behind you. You need to get on that gear.
I know
We
it's.
would,
I started the treadmill. I started with the treadmill, and I was just like, get a couple miles in every couple days, and just get it going, and then, just not enough hours in the day right now. It's the problem.
yeah.
Just not enough,
But
and it feels
you
like
got,
this is a period where you should be like, hey, we're getting near the end of the year. But we got too much. We got too much happening. This is builder season right now, so getting after it.
so you guys have launched something really nice. It's like it's the height of degeneracy in many ways. Um, it's a couple of the blockmates community who shared shared the idea, and they were like, "Keep me away from this thing,"
No,
and
it's not that bad.
for very good reason. No, it's a compliment, sir. When a degenerate
This
tells
has
you that,
like, I will say this is like degenerate. This is a degenerate style trading game that it obviously no guarantee of winning or losing. And obviously there's risk involved in all of these things, but there has been more than enough users of this type of product um, through the original genesis of this product, um, which was from Hero.io and Hero Trade, that that were pretty consistently profitable with it. So it's not a set up to fail style. It's actually arguably a more simplistic way to interact with the market. And I think not too dissimilar to how people treat perpetuals or any other type of market application or product that you can approach it with a certain level of degeneracy, or you can approach it with a certain level of uh, aversion to risk, and I think it's all in the beholder, it's all in the trader. And but this is definitely a much more of a simplistic and much more fun way to interact with the market. And that was the original impetus to this. When we originally came up with the idea, like almost 4 years ago now, was really to find ways to intersect the more fun aspects of gaming with actual trading. And yeah, obviously over the last couple of years, crypto has shown its degenerate, you know, it's degeneracy, its degenerate ways. And again, people want to approach it that way. It's up to them. And people want to approach it you know, it, in a way of like more, I guess, treating it more like a business and like a trading operation. It's plenty of people that are doing that as well.
so what's it called?
So the protocol that we built it's been built at Hero Network is called the Parimutuel Protocol. And the reason it's the Parimutuel Protocol is basically it's a two-sided game, so it's dual outcome. Either it's going to close up or down, and meaning that in whatever time frame the game is being held in. So let's say in 1 minute time frame, think about it like, will the candle be green or red from the beginning of the candle to the close of the candle? And you're placing bets or trades into a pool that are going to be on one side of the market or the other, either up or down. And that pool is going to close at the beginning of the game. And the game is going to run in what you're showing here, like for 1 minute. And if it closes higher than when it started, the upside wins the entirety of the pool. If the downside wins, they win the entirety of this pool, and the entirety of the pool is split pro rata with the in the money or winning side. We call it on Iconic, which brought back the original name of it, which was from the original Hxro.io. That is called Moon Rect. So Moon for up, Rect for down, obviously using old crypto parlance to come up with that name. And we launched it initially fully centralized with a centralized backend in beginning of 2019, and kind of caught lightning in a bottle with it. It was interesting. It was very much during the same kind of market that we're in right now, with it's kind of in the deeper throes of a bear market, and the market was really kind of more or less in a coma, and it kind of was just what everybody needed. It was a way of interacting with the market in a way that you actually can participate, feeling much in the way of trading, but with this kind of gamified approach. And we're able to build a community around it, and I've been iterating on it ever since. And now, cut to today, just a few weeks ago, we launched the V1 of the parimutuel protocol. So, and then 2 weeks ago, relaunched Iconic, and Iconic is actually a CeFi front end. So you treat it just like a normal CeFi application, but the entire back end and settlement and everything is all done on chain. So you get all the benefits of on chain, and it is just like a partner, an integrated application to the Hxro network. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this very simple game. I mean, I've played on it. I think it's fantastic. It does what it says on the box. Moon Rect. That's what the box says, guys. So
Easy.
you can bet that it's going to go up every minute. You place your bet. So obviously before the timers. So this is where you place your bet, right?
Yeah. So there's 30 seconds till that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got essentially right now we've got BTC. What are the plans in terms of introducing other? Obviously, ETH's going to follow suit soon.
ETH will follow suit soon, and then we'll open it up to the community. And as long as it's a liquid, it's a liquid asset. Theoretically, we can, it can be listed, and then eventually, what'll happen as it becomes more and more decentralized, the protocol, you'll be able to treat it much like Uniswap, where we have this concept built in called a store, where you can launch your own storefront effectively and support your own game. Which is like the equivalent of kind of going on Uniswap and setting up a market for a token. And let's say there's like ABC shitcoin, and ABC shitcoin has like an ABC ETH cross, but doesn't have an ABC USDC cross. Well, you could put that ABC USDC cross up, start a pool on it, and then launch it, and then you're participating in the fees and doing everything else. Same concept here with the storefront. So you can eventually, pools that don't exist, you'll be able to create a market on them as long as the Oracle supports it, or an Oracle that we're using supports it, and launch that cross. And the requirement would be for you to spin it up and then to seed the automated market making pool that is one of the key sources of like a base liquidity in all of these games, and then you'll earn a fee share from all of that. So that's kind of the genesis of how it'll go. So we'll put the majors out, the current contributors will, and then eventually it'll open up to be where other people can come in and start whatever markets they want.
So I mean, obviously this is the chart that is, the Bitcoin chart on the 1 minute. So, I mean, this is proper DJing. I mean, who doesn't love looking at the 1 minute chart? But it's
scalping.
It's so easy. I mean, I love how easy it is. It's like, you've essentially got every opportunity to play this game without having to do much. You essentially obviously load USDC, which is your main currency, in your wallet. You send it off the Solana network Obviously, you've got Hxro here as well. You've got the 1 minute time frame and you've got the 5 minute at the moment.
Correct.
Are you guys going to increase that to 15 and 30 and all that? That's coming.
Yeah, eventually the full suite will be 1 minute, 5 minute, 60 minute, and dailies.
Okay. So the question that I've been, I mean, obviously it's important that, you know, as a sponsor and, you know, as part of, you know, our partnership and the rest of it, obviously it's important for us to talk about this wonderful product that you guys have built. And by the way, I'm not saying that it's wonderful because we have a business relationship, but it's wonderful. Look at it. It's like it's just waiting to take all my money from me.
No.
What I've been dying to ask you since you sent this to me a couple of weeks ago, and you know, obviously been playing with it, and is like, how do you effectively play this thing? I mean, I know we kind of like maybe jumping the gun here, and you know, you were saying,
Sure.
listen, you don't want to be heavy-handed, like, you know, the whole 125x leverage mentality doesn't really apply here. You got to be quite strategic in terms of how you approach it. And
let me give you like a top-down view of first of all, again, how it works now that we have the platform up. And this is specific to Iconic. Obviously, the network has the protocol behind it, and there will be many other applications that that will eventually build to this and share in these liquidity pools from the network. But Iconic is kind of the first major implementation. It's also kind of showcasing a CeFi to DeFi style relationship, which is, you know, kind of an interesting case. But there is like a reference implementation that's full Web3 that's available. That's actually open source. People want to take that and start their own applications with it. They certainly can. But the way that this works is, okay, so right now what you're seeing in the middle, that game that is going CBY9, so there's 36 seconds left in it. That game opened at the beginning of that game. So that was about 30 seconds ago. The traded price was, or the last quoted price was 16,897.30. Prior to the game beginning, you have to make a selection to say, like, will the price of Bitcoin be higher or lower at the close of that 1 minute candle versus the open. So prior to that, some point prior, you were saying, will the price be, you're seeing it come into this price, and then you're going to take a position up or down. And you're simply going to say, will it close? Like right now it's lower, and then it's going to settle here. Sometimes it takes a minute to settle. Still a little buggy, I think, on the settlement, but okay, so it just settled. You saw that it settled down 399. So basically, prior to that event starting, there was $249 on up, and there was $251 on racked lower. And yeah, there you go. And so obviously lower one, so however that $251 is made up, it's split all $500 pro rata. So basically it gets its initial wager back plus the USDC of the losing side. And then that gets split pro rata. So it's like, it's dual outcome. It's either going to be up or down. And so same thing here. Now these run concurrently. So the end of the last event is the beginning of the next event, and they run 24/7, 365, just like the crypto market, just like regular crypto markets do. The pricing, it uses actually it's usually an index for its mark price of, I think, 4 separate exchanges. Nice. Yeah. And so it's got a good kind of cross section. Yes. And that's it. So, okay. So let's take a look at, so there's 26 seconds till the next game. Let's say you thought that it was going to be lower in the next minute, like from the beginning of the game, you'd click enter rect, and let's put like $1 in. You can just type in $1 and click lock and enter. All right, so you have $1 position on lower. So you see let's see where this particular game opens. So the lock price, the last traded price, at the top of the minute was 16,884.23, which is exactly what the close was in the last one. Now, you are part of a pool of 235. Your payout, if you win, is going to be 2.03 times your initial wager. So you're getting what we would call like implied odds, and the reason you're getting odds greater than 2 to 1 minus the fee is because you're on the side that has less on it. So to kind of extrapolate that out, imagine if the pool was 10,000, and it looks like you're going to lose this one. Imagine the pool was 10,000, and there was 8,000 on up and 2,000 on down. Well, the 2,000 on down effectively is going to win 10,000 and split it pro rata if it's on the winning side, and that is going to that basically gives you an effective payout of 5 for 1. So, or sorry, 5 to 1. Here he goes.
See, this is what happens. I mean, look, I'm getting the twitch. I'm going to win the next one, Gunny. If I don't win it, I'm lodging a complaint with management.
No, don't do that. So basically, yeah, so let's talk a little bit about strategies. Like maybe like some people will use like the perp market as like a leading indicator, and they'll monitor that and then follow into here because it's not price sensitive, right? It just needs to, in the sense like you're guaranteed to get filled. It's not like you have to fill.
Yes.
It's not you have to put a market order in and then have a market maker face off against you. You just have to say up or down and put the number in, and it's gonna give it to you. Now, it is peer to peer as well. There's not now what there is for liquidity as base liquidity is in every event there is what we call it's called the SAM protocol. We're calling it Smart Automated Market Maker for now. But it's we don't want any references to that. But the reason it's smart is the way that it works, and it's pretty cool. It's that it will effectively put a flat position. It takes both sides of the market, and this is something that is initially run by the protocol and another team in the community that helped build it. But this is going to open up as an LP, as an actual like staking liquidity pool in the not too distant future. And the way that works is that it will basically take like an equivalent bet. So it guarantees like base liquidity on both sides of the market. And then with somewhere like under 10 seconds before the beginning of the event, it will place another set of wagers in that optimize it relative to its interpretation of the probabilities of like, okay, this upcoming event has a 60-40 chance of finishing higher. So it will adjust its position to optimize for that. And that pool does not get charged a fee. It actually, if you're a part of that pool, it just earns a portion of all the fees of the non-SAM wagers that are in there. And when you look at it mathematically over a long enough run, like it kind of, the idea for it is it's not like a big alpha generator. It's not designed to like hurt people. It's designed to provide good, consistent liquidity, it creates a hell of a lot more of a fair environment. And it really runs in a way that is, what I would probably call pretty much even, like zero EV. So it will bleed a little, it will make a little, it'll bleed a little, it'll make a little, but it's never going to do something that is just like, it's not waiting for just like high probability setups and then just going against people. Then it's on both sides of the market. It does a little optimization work. And the idea over, enough transactions is that it just, it basically runs zero EV. And then when it earns, but it's earning a share of the fees. And that's really how liquidity providers, like people that are part of the LP or wallets that are part of the LP are rewarded. And there should be some good yield there because the fees are pretty good.
I keep getting scammed, Gunny. This is not good, huh?
What do you mean?
I'm getting scammed every time I go long, it goes short. Every time I go short, it goes long.
It's not by design, I can promise you that.
I don't know. Hey, I think you've got your devs there, and it's not working for me.
No,
But
no.
I mean, this comes down to what it is that you spoke about at the Breakpoint conference, where it was like, there's this whole need for transparency, and I mean, this is all on chain, and it's quite extraordinary that
Sure.
you're able to do this, and yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a breath of fresh air, and it's going to be interesting to see like how this thing expands, from a product offering and the kind of products that will come from it, and I'm really looking forward to that as well. I mean, this thing is awesome. I mean, despite the fact that I can't win to save my life, but it freaking works.
That is it's almost Murphy's Law that you're on a recording. And I think this is probably like the third time I've been on a recording that the person is using it, and like they go 0 for life. It's amazing. Fortunately, you're doing it on very small amounts. But okay, so the bottom line is that all of this settles on chain. It's all provably fair, provably transparent. In this instance with iconicmarkets.io, Iconic Markets is custody. So you would be making a deposit to Iconic, but like I said, there is a reference implementation out there currently that is like full Web3, and then also eventually Iconic will go Web3, have a Web3 option as well. And then there'll be other applications that this is open to build. There's an engineer building something on Backpack right now for this. There's a few others. There's some people that are thinking about how to do this cross chain now, so you can have like more EVM, like an EVM style or EVM community actually betting into these pools. And the whole name of the game here is for us is really because it really is the most powerful element from both a reflexive standpoint and then just like a user experience standpoint is to have very consistent and deep liquidity. And over time, like the bigger that pools get, the larger participants that come in and the larger percent, like the ones who are running, the teams that are running automated strategies in here, they're generally like a percentage of the pool. So if the pool's 500, then maybe they're going to always say depending on my confidence level, maybe, never be more than be up to 3% of the pool. So they're going to add 15, but if that's on 5,000, it's going to be 150. And okay. So the way that SAM works, and it's running fairly small right now because it's working through its data points. But in a not too distant future, you're going to be very likely that you're seeing pools that are well into the thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars, which will be super exciting. And these are on 1 minute time frames, so there's a lot of opportunity there. And then there are some other applications that in some affiliates and whatnot that are that are connecting into this to drive some of the more kind of recreational participants, which will be exciting to have them here. And then it's really it. It's kind of it's a game plan.
When are you guys kind of doing a big launch on this thing? And yeah, I mean, when's that all happening?
Yeah, it's been we rolled this out, a little bit more of what I would say a smaller beta, and it's going to roll naturally. We're not, we're doing, we spent the last few months really kind of cultivating some of the more key relationships that are getting involved with this, and those are all happening now. So as those goes live, you're just going to see more and more announcements coming out, more and more partnerships, and it's everything from Iconic as its own standalone app has a few larger affiliate relationships, some ambassador relationships, and then also is being used for some other operators who want to white label it. So that's all happening now. And then just other applications that are building directly to the parimutuel protocol, and then some other kind of more trading desks or liquidity provider style desks, or more kind of opportunistic desks that are that are actually treating these things like trading and trading them automated. And so it's, it's a pretty good makeup that makes up these things. And I think you're going to see it scale here pretty soon, which will be really exciting. And then, of course, the way the fees work. So, for example, Iconic takes, I think what works out roughly to about 4.45% per pool. And it takes it, so it's from the winning side. And it pays the network a portion of that fee. And so the way the network gets paid is it depends if the connected wallet is paying in USDC or paying in Hxro. And so and it's really application to application, or if you're writing direct. So if you're writing direct to it, then you have a choice to pay in USDC or Hxro. If you pay in USDC, the network gets 3% of any USDC denominated fee. If you pay in Hxro, it's 1.5%. So on a $10 position, then it's getting, it's going to get 3 cents of that, or sorry, 30 cents of that. And on if it was paid in Hxro, then it would be the equivalent Hxro of 15 cents of that. And those fees, then 50% of those fees go back to to network stakers, and then the other 50% gets split up between the teams that are providing the probabilities to the SAM pool, and then to the actual SAM pool itself, and then to treasury, and then to insurance and things like that. So 100% of that fee is, all goes back to various components of the network and to the, and to treasury. That's it. It's pretty straightforward setup, but it is it doesn't take much for this thing to go, and we think we're off and running on it.
I love it. Well played, sir. Well
Thank
played,
you.
and just to kind of reiterate, if you are staking Hxro, you will be earning the fees, 50% of the fees that are generated off this. Of the
entirety of the network. So this is just one application.
One application.
But you're getting this application plus anybody else that's connected, any other apps that are connected. It all feeds back.
Awesome.
But this is just one interpretation, one team's interpretation of this. And where can it go? Definitely going to start with all the digital, with general crypto assets, but it has, interesting use case in sports betting. It has interesting use case in general prediction. But, we're starting with kind of the most obvious first. And then, I think more as things open up, as the network opens up more, start exploring some of these, these other market segments and see where those go.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
I should have just gone all in on it going to zero.
Yeah, I feel like you were fading it on the way up, and then there you go. 1 minutes are as a trader, I think about trading in a 1 minute time frame or lower as it's like playing blackjack with positive expected value. It can't just be one trade and bat 1,000. The best traders that I see that are scalping in short time frames or participating in something like this on an automated basis, which is really just the equivalent of that, is they're maybe at a 54, 55, 56% hit rate.
Yeah. So
they're not winning too much more, but they're calibrating their positions properly, and they're like card counters. The casino's edge in a blackjack is, if you play the proper strategy, is less than 0.5%. And if you're a card counter, you can tilt it into your advantage, maybe 1 or 2%. So I think similar kind of concepts here. And if, a lot of people find different ways to effectively find like a lead indicator. So whether it's just like pulling up the perp and then looking at the perp, or looking at the 4 markets that make up the index, like I'm giving a little alpha here, that make up the index, and like watching, trying to gauge like which one's leading, and do that in a short time frame. And when you see that, you get higher conviction on which way this should go, and kind of will it stay there over that next minute, and that's it. And then people just use trade setups, and but it is just this game, it's just very gamified feel. And then I think the most exciting thing that I would love to see come back with the community is the concept of a troll box. So you have these like short-term time frame things going on, and then you get a community of participants, of traders and degens and apes and whatnot, who are all doing this at the same time. It gets pretty fun and interesting in those troll box when that's happening.
I look forward to it as well. When are you guys introducing the troll box?
So there's one up in Discord right now, but we're working with a couple other guys on doing something a little more focused and for a little bit wider of an audience. So I think we'll see that coming soon.
Thank you, sir, for your time and for coming on and letting us know about this wonderful game that's going to take all my money. No, I'm going to make money playing this thing.
No, you'll figure it out, and you'll grind it out. I'm confident.
Yeah. Guys, please like and subscribe if you've been watching this, and obviously this isn't financial advice. I mean, Gunny has absolutely no idea what he's talking about, and I sure as all.
No, definitely not financial advice. It is prohibited in the United States. I'll be very clear about that. And there's some other prohibited jurisdictions. You should go look at the terms and conditions when you go to iconicmarkets.io to take a look. Yep.
Fun and games. Take it easy. Thank you, Gunny. Look forward to, I'm sure, a lot more coming. Keep it up, sir. We love it.
Thank you. We are. Thank you very much.